Good morning, KW Milwaukee. How's everybody doing on a beautiful, hopefully beautiful. Here's the caveat to it. It's September 20th, and by 4 p.m. it's going to get to 80 degrees.
Yeah.
So take it while you got it, despite the rain this morning. A couple things to lead off for you this morning. For those on the stream or streaming in, we have a few guest speakers that are going to speak this morning that I'm going to create an introduction to here in a second. But first up, I wanted to introduce to you guys and welcome a new member of our team on the leadership team. As we've talked about mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background here. Megan Casey was with us for several years, and then in May decided to take a new opportunity outside the real estate world, which she and I worked through and talked through a lot to help her find the right fit for her, for what she was looking for. Like, this was her first professional job. She got great experience and then moved on, right? And she was in North Shore for a little bit, then she was over in Tosa. And then from May until late August, we cobbled together to make sure that we could get everything we needed to get done for those that sit in Tosa. And I got some heat for it from some folks. And I had to help remind people two things. I can be picky and I can be patient as it relates to finding the right talent to serve your business. And while that takes time, and a lot of people can't be patient, because here's the truth, I can find anybody with a pulse to do the job. Well, let me say that again. I can do anybody with a pulse to sit in the chair. I can't find everybody with a pulse to do the job, because our expectations of what we do to deliver and serve you guys in order to serve your businesses is incredibly high. So we were picky and we were patient. We probably interviewed 40 to 50 people before we finally landed on one. So with that, would love to create an introduction to you guys to Caitlin. Caitlin's going to jump on. Caitlin, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your backstory? Where did we find you? And how did you find your world? How did you find yourself coming into our crazy world?
Yeah, so good morning. My name is Caitlin. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I came out to Wisconsin for college. I went to school at Madison. And while I was at Madison, I was on the rowing team, and also enjoyed just going to all like the football, basketball games as well. After graduating, I moved straight back to Milwaukee, where I've been a special education teacher for the past 5 years. And kind of at the end of the school year, decided I wanted to make a shift, make a change. And I'm just super excited about this opportunity to like serve you all, really get to know you all, and how I can best be a support and just make your day easier. And yeah, so please, I'm excited to get to know you all, and please just reach out and let me know how I can best support you all.
Cool. So there's two things I love. Well, three things I love. And this is why Caitlin got the gig. Well, not why Caitlin got the gig, but I love Wisconsin Badgers. I have a sweet spot in my heart. I rowed at the University of Wisconsin. I know what it takes to row at the University of Wisconsin. Not everybody can do it. There's a certain mental aptitude that you have to put yourself through in order to do that sport. So as soon as she said that she was a rower at the University of Wisconsin, she pretty much had the job. And then finally, I also have a very soft spot in my heart for teachers. Teachers are incredibly compassionate and empathetic people. She taught special ed and MPS for 5 years, which, there's special ed teachers, and then there are MPS special ed teachers. And so that combined with her servant mindset and attitude, super stoked to introduce you guys to her. As you stop into the innovation office, please introduce yourself. She's just getting going. Caitlin, what are you on, like week 3?
Yep, week 3.
Week 3, and she's still showing up. So guys, as you stop into the innovation office, please do me a favor and welcome Caitlin into our world, if you would. And she's learning the ropes 100 miles an hour. So we're excited to get her to serve your businesses. Sound good? Sweet. Caitlin, welcome. All right, switching over. A couple other guest speakers to share with you, and I'm going to switch over to speaker mode here. Something you guys need to know and understand. For those of you who show up every single week, how often do we put vendor partners in front of you? Maybe 5 to 6 times a year, maybe. Okay. And also we want to make sure that we support those who support us. Okay. This morning, we have Johnson Bank in the house. Here's what you need to know about Johnson Bank. 7 years ago, when we decided to start KW, Johnson Bank took a chance on us. Okay. We had no history of doing brokerages. We had no history of running real estate businesses. We had no history of nothing. And Johnson Bank said, hey, you know what? We'd be your partner. We'll do this with you. They just opened up an office down the street on Silver Spring. And these guys have stood by us through thick and thin. They were the first bank to give us PPP money. They were the first bank to wipe the PPP money away. They've done a ton of mortgage business with us. And I will tell you this, we have all of our professional business banking with Johnson Bank. And I will tell you, I have all my personal banking with Johnson Bank. Here's the best part. I walk down the street to Johnson Bank and I need to deposit a check. I don't need my wallet because they know me on a first name basis. I need to take out $1,000 cash, which I don't know why I would ever need $1,000 cash. If I need $1,000 cash, call Megan. But if I need $1,000 cash, which for whatever reason I may, never needed a driver's like, I will tell you, I walk into that bank and I tell people all the time, why do you bank at, people ask me, why do you bank at Johnson Bank? And I said, it is the Ritz-Carlton of local banking. The service levels are impeccable. So with that, Johnson's been with us as a partner on our side. They gave us an incredible donation to help support our grand opening launch party where we had roughly 800 people in and around the space. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over for a few minutes for you guys to understand why I love Johnson Bank so much and for you guys to better understand their story. So with that, the folks from Johnson Bank.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for having us. My name is Tony Petrie. I'm the regional field manager for the Milwaukee Mortgage Department for Johnson Bank. What I'm going to do is introduce you to my team, and Tammy and Lisa are going to go over some very unique programs that can help you guys in our markets. Just to introduce, this is Lisa Mahler. She's at our new Cathedral Square branch. Sarah Clemmer is in Brookfield with me. Amy Lemke is in Mequon. Tammy Clemmer, also in Brookfield. And then we have Ruth Patterson in Brookfield, Karen Landry in Waukesha, and Al Ripple right up the road at our Whitefish Bay branch. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa to talk a little bit about some of our unique programs.
I'm going to do my best to talk to you guys, and I've been instructed to talk to the computer too. So it's a little nerve wracking. Anyway, first of all, I'm excited to tell you about a couple programs that we have that I think you guys will be interested in. The first one I'd like to tell you about is our pre-approval program. We have our pre-approvals just like we've always had, and that a lot of you guys have probably seen or worked with before for your buyers. We also now have an enhanced version of our pre-approvals. What this means is when we do a pre-approval, we can send the file to our underwriters, and currently 24 to 48 hours, they will generate a new pre-approval certificate for us that states that the borrower is fully underwritten. And I know how important this is in the competitive market. If you have a buyer making an offer amongst a lot of other buyers, having the pre-approval letter state right on it that this borrower has been fully pre-approved, fully underwritten by a lender is pretty big right now. So that is something we do offer our borrowers. The other program I'd like to tell you about is our doctor program and our professional program. Our doctor program is for doctors and dentists that are MDs. Our professional program is for, I have a list because it's pretty good. We have physician's assistants, nurse practitioners, anesthetics. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Thank you. I practiced that in an exam. We have anesthesiology associates or assistants, veterinarians. Thank you, you guys. I am fumbling. We also have CPAs, attorneys, physical therapists, pharmacists, resident and fellows, and chiropractors on that list. Those are the professional program. For both of these programs, it allows for 0 to low down payment, no PMI, and up to 90 days prior to closing on the house. If they have a job offer letter, but they haven't started the job yet, we can close on the loan. They have to have a offer letter that's been accepted with no contingencies by the time we close. But we do offer that 90-day window, which is great if you have people who are relocating or just getting into these careers at that point in time because they've just finished school or something else. For our doctor program, doctor dentist, for 0 down, it's a loan of 750,000. 5% down up to 900,000, 10%, 1.2 million. For the professional program, 100% 0 down, 650,000 loan, 97%, which is 3% down, a $700,000 loan, 5% 800, and 10% 900. So you can see that not just is it a great program with the low down payment, but basically what happens with people in these careers is they haven't had time to save yet, or basically the amount of down payment based on the house they know they can afford is more, and then they are not burdened with PMI. So for more information on these programs or any of our other ones, I am going to challenge you guys in the next 30 days to reach out to one of our loan officers at Johnson and maybe schedule a phone call, coffee, a meeting, lunch, or something, so you can find out more about what we can do.
And what's, just to add to that, the 100%, no mortgage insurance, and many times the rates are lower than a Freddie Mac conforming mortgage.
Yep.
So the rates are super competitive, no mortgage insurance.
Thank you.
And Tammy, just
sorry.
on a line
I have a few things to say as well. So first, thank you again for having us today. This morning, I thought what perfect timing for us to be here with you today ahead of the Federal Reserve meeting and their discussion on the Fed rates. Fun stuff, right? So we all have questions. Are they going to raise rates 75 basis points, 100? What does that mean to mortgage rates? What does that mean to the buyers you have right now searching for their forever home? What does it mean to your business? I don't have any answers to any of that, but Johnson Financial Group has put together what's called a lock and shop program. And what that program allows your buyers to do is to lock into an interest rate up to 180 days prior to closing. And to be able to lock in while they're shopping for a property, not once they have an accepted offer. So this, I heard a wow. So this is just an awesome program to prevent or to protect your buyers from the volatile interest rate markets. We can lock in, as I said, up to 180 days with a free float down option. So what that means is once they do have an accepted offer and they are within a 60-day window prior to closing, if the current market rates are lower than their locked in rate, they get a free float down. No harm, no foul. So for example, they do a 180-day lock, which gets us out to the middle of March of 2023. That just seems strange. And they lock in at, let's say, 6.75. They get within that 60-day window, current market rates are at 6%. They float down to 6%. They're happy. If current interest rates are at 7.5, they're getting the rate of 6.75. They're happy. This protects your buyers, as I said, from what the interest rates are doing. It helps them keep both feet in the housing market. They're not watching the interest rates going, oh gosh, if it's going up, should we not buy? Making your jobs challenging. Are they buying or aren't they buying? It also helps keep their pre-approval accurate, because if the interest rate goes up 1/4 or 0.5%, their buying power still remains the same because they're locked in at that whatever interest rate. They're not moving up and down. So if they were pre-approved for 500,000 and the rates go up 1/4 or 0.5%, they're still approved for 500,000. We're not chasing that number to say, ooh, now their buying power has become 450 or 400 or whatever the number is. So it really validates that pre-approval letter for each and every one of you. Did I cover everything with that? All right. So I suggest, as Lisa did, to reach out to your buyers that are in your pipelines right now, share this information with them. Hopefully they reach out to us so they can lock in to help protect those buyers during these volatile times. Thank you very much.
If you guys have any questions, we can leave some cards and I can send some flyers out. If you want more information on the details of the program, please reach out. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so while we transition back, here's a couple other things you guys need to know that they didn't talk on, but I wanted to make sure I touched on. One, great construction loan program. If you have buyers that are doing big renovations or new construction, I'll tell you, we have friends that utilized Alan Ripple over at Johnson. It was phenomenal because they make local level decisions. 2, you need a personal relationship or a business relationship over at the bank. Call me, text me, I'll create the introduction. I'm telling you, the reason why we put so few people in front of you is 1, we want to protect your time. And 2, we want to vet who we put in front of you very, very much. 3, I'm an incredibly loyal individual. Those that support us are someone that I will support back every single day. So sometimes while their rates, this, that, and the other, or their banking, this, that, and the other, to me, service and loyalty are the most important aspect of what I do, which is why I put so few people in front of you. Hence, there's my pitch for Johnson Bank. If you want an intro, let me know, because I will tell you, I'll go to bat for them all day long. Guys, Lisa, team, and the team, Tammy, thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're jumping back into it. Now, beautiful part of August was, anybody know what the August numbers were? It was down. You know what the best part was? Yes, and a ton of people capped in August. So with that, there's 22 people. Normally I go a little bit more in depth. So for those that capped in August, you're fucking awesome. Okay? Just know that I love you. And there's 22 of you, and I want to make sure that we recognize all 22. You ready? First up, oh, so Surrey's not sure about that. All right. First up, Elise Bolt. Been in the business for a handful of years, doing big things. Young mom, learning how to balance it all. Elise Bolt, congrats on capping. Next up, fresh off the boat from Mykonos, Greece. Was just over there for the last 2 weeks, is having an absolute killer year. You want to know someone who's doubled their business every single year for the last 3 to 4 years? Talk to Aletha Champagne. Aletha, congrats. Next up, someone who gives back to us in an incredible amount of ways is always available. Steph Connard, I love you like a sister. Lieutenant, appreciate you. Congrats on capping. Next up, been in the business for a long time, always willing to give back to others. An incredible person, Gail Ganley, congrats on capping in the month of August. Jana Hartberg, over in Tosa, the innovation office, moved out to Sussex, has had a few things going on in her personal life, and yet has not prevented her from being productive in this crazy market. Congrats. Next up, Annie J. Had a great background in nonprofit work and is absolutely building a great foundation in this business. Annie J, congrats on capping. Shout out to Chrissy Klasky out in Lake Country. Chrissy's building a team, doing a big business. Congrats, Chrissy. Next up, Pam Cooper. Pam and her husband Craig just doing work. They used to own a bowling alley, by the way, and they really love Opus One. So Pam and Craig always remind me of that. Pam and Craig, congrats on capping. All right, next up, Nicole McGonigal out in Lake Country. Congrats on capping. Amy Merrick, another new agent who's absolutely built a great foundation in this business. Leanne Pluster, who's building a big team out in Lake Country. Congrats on capping. Shayna Ray, who's on her team out there in Lake Country. Congrats. Jackie Reinish Knapp on the Corey Double Bolt team. Congrats, Jackie, on capping in the month of August. Next up, Brian Schweppe. Congrats on capping in the month of August. One sec, Schweppes. I got you on there. Don't worry. Brian Schweppe. See? Next up, there's only one standard in my household, and she knows what she needs to do to get it done. For those of you who don't know, that's my wife. Next up, Nada. Congrats on building an incredible foundation and building a big business. This one, blow your heart, blow your mind away. This dude's been in the business for maybe 90 days, did 7 million in the month of August. Congrats, Heston, on capping in the month of August. Next up, Gail's partner in crime, Brett Timmerman. Congrats on capping in the month of August. 2 more. Liz Toomey, running the Nicollet Group for Paul, an absolutely incredible woman. Liz, congrats on capping. And then finally on Fernwood Real Estate, Sierra Watson, congrats on capping in the month of August. So, Vranek, you're up. Guys, a ton of cappers in the month of August. I love seeing people's success despite headwinds in the marketplace. With that, I'm flipping it over to Lindsay, who's been hard at work as we've revamped our marketing resources and assets for you guys at a local level. So I'm flipping it over to Lindsay.
All right, good morning, everybody. So I am really excited to present our new buyer presentation. So we rolled out the listing presentation a couple of months ago. And now we have the corresponding buyer presentation. So it's the same look, it's the same feel as the listing presentation, as those of you who have requested that. And so just like,
Give me one pause.
yes.
Sorry. Hold on, Zoom people. Give me 2 seconds. We heard your feedback. Boom, you're rocking and rolling.
Okay. Hopefully we're all good now. All right, so buyer presentation, you guys. So this is just adding into our KW Marketing Concierge. So like everything else, you can find it on our kwrealtymke.com website. So KW Marketing Concierge, it's one of the navigation tabs at the top. Click on it, you'll see buyer presentation. That's where you can go in and request it. Just like every other listing marketing material. Thank you, Peter Gossman. Feels so special. No. And so the buyer presentation is in here as well. So you can go online, you can request it right now. It's completely personalized to your brand, your business. Obviously, it's geared towards buyers. Here we go. Oh, here we go. So in total, it's 34 pages. So you might have, a few more, a few less, depending on if you have a team. But the pages include your bio, your statistics, KW Milwaukee statistics. So very similar to the listing presentation, why should a buyer work with you and Keller Williams? Buying versus renting, mortgage rates, what's going on with that? Keller Williams mission, steps to buying a home, the consumer search app, that's really important for buyers, right? Creating a wish list and so much more. So this is entirely wrapped up into this buyer presentation. And you guys, these digital assets are free. The buyer presentation, the listing presentation, these are free. So if you need a buyer presentation, go online, request this. Again, it's completely personalized to your brand. We also have print options available. So both in Lake Country and in Milwaukee, we are working with local printers. So if you need listing materials printed, whether it's a brochure, a listing flyer, business cards, tri-fold brochures, anything like that, we do have print options available. Reach out to myself or Britton out in Lake Country. We do have a kwmke.marketing@gmail.com. So if you get emails from that email, that's just me or Britton. But if you are interested in anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out to us and check out some of our examples in the market centers. And so we do have these marketing walls up if you're interested in any of these materials. So we've got samples printed if you want to actually look at the physical assets, even if you just want the digital, but it's a good kind of visual to see what's available. The 12 direct postcard campaign, we've got a bunch of different fall templates out right now. But again, if you have any questions, if you're interested in something that maybe we don't have in the KW Marketing Concierge, reach out to me and we'll get it added. So love to hear your feedback and really hope that you guys utilize this. So thank you.
Guys, what I hope you're hearing is that we're taking your feedback seriously and we're implementing what it is that you need in order to be successful. Okay, we're taking your feedback seriously and we're implementing what you need. Lindsay is freaking rock star. She's really great at what she does. If you haven't utilized her, I would challenge you. She's an incredible resource to help you build your business, right? All right. Last week, we talked about winter is coming. And here's the best part. 96 of you have made a choice. Life's about choices. Okay. And last week, we talked a little bit around the seasonality of this business and how do you approach it in order to do this business at a high level, right? And right now we're in the fall cleanup and it's looking at your database management and delineating between leads and contacts. Okay. We're about to enter into a time of winter renewal. You guys know the 3 slowest months of the year in terms of residential real estate? December, January, February. When are you in front of the most amount of people? November and December, all your holiday parties. And everyone needs a place to live, yes or yes? Everyone is a lead, yes or yes? Okay, so if you aren't thinking about your database in the fall and you aren't thinking about the ways in which that you're renewing your business, because separation is in the preparation starting today in order to build a 2023. Where top agents shine is how they separate themselves from September 1st to essentially January 1st. Because here's what I know. A bunch of the industry likes to take off. They like to go to cocktail parties. They don't like to pick up their phone and they don't like to look at their email November, December. Here's what I also know. The market's going to get tougher in 2023. Per agent productivity is going to go down. Per agent income is going to go down and the market is going to go down. So if you want to separate yourself in 23, it starts today, right? And if you want to hit your 2023 income and business goals and you miss your first quarter, guess what? You can't make it up in the fourth quarter because everyone's going to do business. 65% of the business, PSA, 65% of the business is done from March till September. You feel me? So having said that, I'm going to go into upcoming training and education because you need to be thinking about what you need to do to work on your business instead of working in your business. Okay. Subtle reminder that I give you every year at this time of year. You need to be working on your business, not working in your business. Okay. So what does that look like? And then I'm going to go into the market of the moment. Upcoming trainings and events. Quick shout out, Shawnee, Dawn, McCole, Emily, and Geneva for Graduating Accelerator. They understand the contracts. They're doing their thing. Congrats. September training calendar, handful of things to point out, still yet to come here in the month of September. This afternoon at 11:30. We're going to do it now, and we're going to do it again in November. Vision boards in North Shore. Vision boards will be in Lake Country next week, and then Tosa the following week. So vision boards are already starting. Why? You have to understand the vision of what it is that you desire for your life in order for you to stay focused on what it is that you need to do with your activities. I'll tell you, I thought vision boards were totally hokey pokey. Never did one, thought my mom was crazy. She kept telling me to do one. I've done one every single year for the last 5 years. 90% of what I've done on my vision board has come to fruition because I look at it every single day when I walk into my office. And so when it says, hey, I don't want to take this meeting. Hey, I don't want to deal with this agent. Hey, I don't want to deal with whatever. I look at my vision board and say, you know what? I got 3 mouths to feed. I got college to pay, and I got to show up and do the work. Right? So vision boards are powerful. Believe them or not, they work. Right? Another thing is win the beauty contest. I actually thought this was a really cool concept. Sarah Jo Dietrich is going to moderate a panel between Mara Krieger, Elena Zeman, and Lindsay Weber, all around staging a home. How do you maximize the inside of a home to make the best first impression to help you maximize the return on your seller's investment? So they're going to be leading a conversation on Wednesday at 10 a.m. via Zoom. Join in for some nuggets for some incredibly powerful women talking about staging, photography, and everything else around how do you win the beauty contest. Sound good? Cool. Yes, we'll send it out via text in the morning. Cool. Lastly, I went through this last week, and this is about the last time you're ever going to hear me talk about it. Life is about choices. What you choose to do with your time, energy, investment is totally up to you. And I'm not going to go through the 25 examples I provided to the group last week. I'm just going to show you two people who made the decision to make an impact, an investment in their business, and the Q1 results. This is what they did. Units were up 12%, volume was up 42% in a down market. Next example. The agent was too busy in the prior fall. Look at, they were doing so much business in the fall. And then they had a goose egg in Q1. And I don't know how many people and how many agents can afford not to make an income from December until April. Very few can bridge that gap. Okay. But they were too busy in the fall before and it showed up. So then they invested their time, energy, and money in the fourth quarter last year. Their units were up 600% and their volume was up 1.7 million percent. Okay. Life's about choices. So Bold is back. You have a choice. One caveat. Okay, yes, it was you, Sarah Reardon. I just wasn't gonna call her out.
She literally was like, wow, I'm like, I think that was you.
So, some people know what the public accountability looks like. Bold is back. Okay, Bold is back. It is on Wednesdays except the very first week. October 11th is a Tuesday. It's at the zoo. It's centrally located. 96 people have already made the choice. Of the 96 people, they do over $1 billion in residential real estate. They do $1 billion in residential real estate. Okay. It's not as if they're too busy to attend. It's not as if they don't have the time to attend. They've made the choice. And I'll tell you this, as I've told you before, we're capping the room. This is the last time you hear me talk about it, because I already know I have to give away 16 scholarships for those that want to register. So at 96 people plus 16 puts me at about 120, and my cap's about 125. Life's about choices, people. The world is run by those who show up. There you go. Locations at the Zoo Conference Center. So that's it about Bold. Last time you hear me speak about it, $1 billion I'd want to be in that room. Again, despite what you think of it, despite what you think of spending that much time, despite what you think of the coach, whether he's good, bad, or indifferent, I'll tell you, I like a coach who comes from the military. I think the group needs a lot of public accountability, and I think the structure will be important because it's impossible to get that in a business where you're independent contractors. Make sense? There. Yes. There you go. Those are the dates. Yep. All right. We good? All right. What's the military phrase? It's something to the effect of few choose, but the few who choose are, no, never mind. I'll figure it out for next week. All right, here we go. Market insights, grocery store market of the moment script is coming at you. I pulled August of this year, August of last year, August of 2020. Here's what you need to know. The market is chaotic and consumers are telling us, and they're confused. And the reason why I know they're confused is because there's things that are showing up in the data that we have to help give perspective on to get people off the fence. Do you feel me? And it's our job to be the economist of choice. And if you want to make the income that you desire in 23, you're going to understand this script, because right now, more than ever, and this is going to sound crazy, right now, more than ever, we have to articulate this to people who are on the fence about selling. Okay. And everyone's going to say, well, inventory has been low for so long. Well, there were 6.1 million transactions last year across the US. It was in the top 5 most ever. It wasn't as if inventory, yes, there could have been more if there was more inventory, but what I'm realizing is we aren't doing a good enough job to help articulate what the market of the moment is to get people off the fence. You feel me? So I'm going to try and do that in the most elegant way possible. For those of you who haven't seen this before, I'm going to go through a lot of graphs and numbers. And at the very end, I'm going to boil it down into a 1-page script for you to use when you're checking out, when you're getting your milk and eggs. Sound good? All right, here you go. Oh, reminders. Warning, the market is deceptive. 2, it's a humbling market. 3, great markets don't last, great agents do. 4, you're not in it for a great year, you're in it to build a great career. So let's take a look at what August is telling us. Okay, here's what you need to know. I got to get this stuff out of here. So Milwaukee Metro MLS, this is all Milwaukee Metro MLS. I've gone through this the last several months, going back to February all the way to August. The blue boxes or the yellow boxes or the red boxes correlate to lead metrics, and then where they show up is 30 to 60 days later. Okay, so I've talked about this a ton. I showed this even last week when we talked about Bold. So I'm going to skip ahead. May was down 11 in terms of listings taken. Guess what happened? June was down 15 in closed units. June was down 23% in listings taken. July was down 20% in closed units. July was down 16% on listings taken. August was down 14% on closed units. So if listings taken was down 28%, where do you think September is headed? Down, down, down. Okay. We can't avoid the reality. We just have to face the facts. It's okay. And the sky is not falling. I'm going to tell you why it's not falling. Okay. Here you go. Closed units. This is a lag metric. This is the only lag metric I'm going to talk about. Closed units. August of 2022, there was 2,495 closed units across the Metro MLS. Okay, when you compare that versus 21, it was down 13 points or 12.6%. Okay, and when you compare it versus 2020, it was down 13%. So the last 2 years compounded, we're down 13% year over year. Make sense? Okay, now where is this going to show up for future? Here's what you need to understand. Months of supply, a balanced market is 6 months. In August of 20, we were at 1.9. In August of 21, we were at 1.9. In August of 22 is 1.8. The latest 2-year average over the last 24 months is 1.8 months of supply. Here's the point. The reason why the sky isn't falling, because inventory levels effectively have not changed. Okay. We have been operating in an environment of 1.8 months of supply. Now let's take a look at velocity and rate of sale, because this is what's going to help you tell the story. August of 20 was 40 days on market. August of 21 was 30 days. And August of 22 was 28 days. Okay. Rate of sale is operating at a very similar pace to where we were last year. And guess what? It's operating almost at 12 to 13 days faster than what it was in August of 2020. And if you remember of August of 2020, everyone thought the market was an inferno. Okay. The reason why this is important is this is velocity and rate of sale. Let's go deeper. So sales absorption, percentage of inventory that goes under contract. It's an indication of demand. August of 20 was 32.8%. August of 21 was 31.8%. August of 22 was 32.6%. Also, over the last 24 months, the average over the last 2 years was 33.5% of the inventory that was on the market went under contract. What does that mean? It means we've been operating at a pretty consistent clip in terms of velocity and rate of sale. And something also very interesting to note. What are the difference between inflation, affordability, and rates when you compare August of this year versus August of 21 or August of 20? It's almost doubled where we were, yet it hasn't had an impact on the rate or in terms of rate or velocity of sale. Does that make sense? This is a very, very important distinction we need to help people understand, and I'll get there to boil it down for you. Okay. Now, units under contract. This is future business, future closings, future income. This is probably the most concerning slide I'll share with you this morning. When we compare August of this year versus August of 2020, it's down 29%. When you compare it versus August of 21, it's down 21%. So here's the major caveat to that. You're probably thinking, holy shit. But the sky is not falling. Why? Because velocity, AKA pace of sale, has not changed. Other factors are leading to a slowdown in units. So let's dig deeper. It's like an onion. We just keep peeling back the layers. Now, new inventory units. New inventory units. August of 2020, August of 22 was 2,540 units. Okay. Versus 21, it's down 26%. Versus 20, it's down 27%. Here's the big takeaway. More sellers are deciding to sit on the sidelines, yet it has not impacted buyer demand. Okay. How do we know that? Days on market has been consistent. Sales absorption rates have been consistent. Days on total months of supply inventory has remained consistent. What does that tell us? Buyers still have an appetite for the real estate. It's the sellers that we have to navigate through in order to find more inventory, in order to do more deals. Okay. Now, total inventory, we're down 29% versus August of 20, down 23% versus August of 21. Total inventory over the last 24 months is 6,617 units. In August of 22, we're at 6,534 units. We're basically operating at what we've been operating at, right? The slowdown in units going under contract is because fewer people are bringing new inventory to the market. So over time, as we continue to see new inventory units with trends like this, what's going to happen is total inventory is going to continue to fall, which means fewer units are going to be had and available to the buyers. And yet, we're not seeing an increase on days on market. We're not seeing an increase in sales absorption rates, and we're not seeing an increase on all the other velocity and rate of sale metrics. So it tells us buyer demand still have a really healthy appetite. How do we know it? Let's take a look at pricing. When you look at the average and the median, average is up 8% versus 20, up 6% versus 21. Median up 8% and 8% the last 2 years. Okay. So this is simply Econ 101. Demand still remains strong. Velocity and rate of sale still remains really, really strong. How do we know this? Pricing continues to appreciate at high single digits. Right? The sky is not falling. We have to be telling this story to our sellers in order to get them off the fence. You feel me? Okay. Pricing per square foot, it's a static measure. I like looking at pricing, price per square foot, because for the most part, 2,000 square foot home is still going to be a 2,000 square foot home, whether it was in 2020 or 2022, right? Price per square foot was up 16% versus 2020 and up 7% versus 21. In August, I should have changed this. This is a typo. In August, the average price per square foot across southeastern Wisconsin was $180 price per square foot. Now, the caveat to this, guys, is based on the price point you work in. You got to look at these numbers, right? If you're selling a $2 million house or a $200,000 house, those metrics change slightly. So it's being articulate as to what it is. And I use Molitor as an example. Molitor had a house on Kramer. His investors were freaking out. But Molitor, you came to me and you said, all right, I need to talk these guys off the ledge. And we said, great, let's look at the data. I said, Molitor, how long's the house been on the market? He said 7 days. And they were they were losing their shirts. And then he came back to me, he goes, Charlie, it's been 14 days. I said, okay, let's take a look at this. Did you know in the last 3 years, the average home that sold over $1 million, the average days on market was still 78 days? So the recency bias of everything else that's going on in the marketplace has shrouded people's clouded people's judgments. And so we have to use data in order to tell the story so that people don't freak out. Now, you can use the very similar story on a $200,000 home, right? And it's just understanding the metrics in play so that you can talk to your buyers and sellers and articulate that so that you can articulate your value in order to earn more business. Make sense? Because I said this yesterday in an example with a group of folks. There were 52,000 transactions last year in the Metro MLS. There's an abundance of transactions. So don't look at the down 20%, don't look at the down 29% and start freaking out. Last month, there was 2,500 units that closed. How many of them were yours? And why didn't you do another one? So think about it in terms of the abundance of the marketplace and utilize the data in order to tell the story so you can be the economist of choice to earn the business. Make sense? All right, so here you go. Boiling it all down. What's my grocery store market of the moment script? Sellers. I'm running into a seller at the salad line at Sendik's at lunch. And here they say, the sky is falling. And I'm like, no, it's not. Despite continued appreciation of home prices and rate hikes, has not curbed buyers' appetite or slowed velocity or rate of sale. Sellers are still getting great values in a short amount of time. Pricing continues to appreciate across southeastern Wisconsin area as they are up high single digits so far in 2022. And by the way, it's outpacing projections for the region. So where do I go? Two things are certain. And I've reiterated this the last several months. Prices of homes are going to continue to appreciate. Today is the cheapest the asset will ever be. Okay. 2, rates will go down. You will have an opportunity to refinance the loan, right? What's the line? Marry the house, date the mortgage, date the rate, marry the house. Use it. Buyers. Yes, higher interest rates have taken some buyers out of the market, but don't fool yourself. Buyer demand still remains strong. How do we know this? Velocity and rate of sale are still operating at paces we have seen the last 2 years. They've been pretty consistent. Because of this, home prices are continuing to appreciate at high single-digit rates. So where do I go? What do I do? Prices are going to continue to go up. Today is the cheapest it will ever be. You have the opportunity to refinance the rate. Don't wait. Make sense? There's your grocery store market of the moment script for August based on what the data is telling me. Here's what I would tell you in one quick synopsis. There is chaos in the markets. Capital markets, if you look at it, S&P 500 is down 21%. Okay. People feed They go into their foxholes when there's chaos. We have to be able to see through the chaos to be able to articulate exactly what's going on there in the marketplace to help them protect value with their largest financial asset. If you do that, you will win the business. If you can't do that, someone else will. Steph Miller will win the business. All right. So fundamental truths about where we are, and I've talked about this the last several weeks. What do? You need to be a hunter, not a gatherer, right? The business is going to get harder. We just have to amplify our activities. Too many agents are lead receivers. So we have to amplify the intensity and frequency of your prospecting and marketing efforts. 2x your database, 3x your activities, and generate noise. How do you fight noise with chaos? More noise. More noise. Okay? Don't avoid the reality. This is where we are. This is where we're headed. You have a choice. Do more activities in order to earn more income, or do the same activities you have. And guess what? If you do the same activities you've always done, I can just project you're going to make about 20 to 30% less income next year. If you do the same, you can't afford to do the same. Make sense? All right. With that, 5 minutes, wrapping it up. August awards in year to date. Here we go. You ready? So $1 Million Month in the month of August, Elena Zeman, Aletha Champagne, Andrew Clavana. Big shout out to Bethany Clark, Tamara Bolton, The Wilds, Dan and Sherry, Deb DeFeer, Melissa Bradley, Martha Ola, Heston Swallow with a big month. We'll talk about it here in a sec. Jana Harburg, Jill Fink, Stephanie Miller, Shawnee, big shout out to Shawnee, Ross Treffert, Nicole Kunik, Marcus Auerbach, Lisa Erdman, Lori Sroke. $1 Million Month in the month of August, along with a handful of other beautiful people. Here we go. Home Run Club in the month of August. To me, this is the most important one to make. Home Run Club. Why? It means you took a listing, you wrote a contract, and you had a contract closed. It means you got paid and you're going to continue to get paid. So you don't have a first quarter like Sarah Reardon had in 2022. Oh, easy. All right. Just giving her a hard time. All right. Increase in business, new metric for us to try and celebrate more folks, right? Increase in business and volume percentage in the month of August. Kyle, Shalina Harvey, Gail Ganley, Annie Chambers, Gerardo, David Moe, Amy Merrick, Garen, brand new Jan Jakowski. I'm totally screwing that up. My bad. Kendrick Taylor, Doreen Drummel, Mike Moan, Ethan Masson, Frank Cinto, Sherry, and Dan Wild. Congrats on the largest increase August of this year versus August of last year. Now, GCI for those on teams. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of metrics because teams all roll into one, but we tried to find ways in which we could celebrate folks on teams. So top 10 GCI earners on teams: Janine Warner, Martha Ola, Steph Minnick, Katie Thomas, Megan Stalley, Blake McKinney, Kathleen Rosenheimer, Steph Miller, Danielle Forrest, Ginger Lazovic, Ellen Pertel, Bethany Clark, Casey Lopez, Maggie Drain, and the mayor himself, Andy Stillman. All right. August individual volume, top 15 across all 3 locations. Heston Swallow. There you go. Top 15. You want to make the top 15? Do more north of $1 million in a year. Shawnee, congrats, sister. All right. Is top 20? My bad, I can't count. Top 20, year to date, market agents control their units. The market gives you volume. Here you go. Across all 3 locations, here's your top 20. And then here you go, top 20 individual volume so far year to date through August, with Molitor leading the way. All right, August team volume, FRG leading the way, JSG, SRG, Champaign, Plooster, Akihome, Fernwood, Duval, and the rest of the top 20, rounding out the top 20 teams in the month of August. Year-to-date team units, again, teams control their units. The market gives you volume. You can see here. And then year-to-date team volume across our organization. Sound good? Sounds like there's a tight competition heading into the third and fourth quarter. I don't think I need to add any fuel to that fire. Yeah, right. All right, last thing, language of real estate report, just in terms of what's going on across the marketplace in terms of brokerages and your affiliation and partnership. And remember, our results are your results. So handful of things. You can see here, top 15 brokerages across southeastern Wisconsin. Here's what you basically need to know. MLS closed volume was down 2%. Dollar volume, closed dollar volume year to date, down 2%. If you're more than up, down 2%, you're taking share. If you're down less than 2%, you're losing share. So you can see how this correlates and rolls up from a brokerage perspective here. KW in Shore West, we're duking it out for 1 and 2 in the marketplace. They're down 10, we're up 6, and then there's a big significant fall off to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But again, our results are a reflection of our people's results and how we help people become highly productive. You can see here, top office locations. I just stripped everybody else out to make it simpler and easier. KW Prestige and Innovation, you can see here, shout out to the Innovation Group, up 49%. Reminder too, a lot of people question this. When you move into our environment, and Shawnee, I'll use you an example just because I can see you. If your business is, let's say, down 10%, we inherit your down 10%. If your business is up 10%, we inherit your down up 10% because your volume history follows your agent license. Okay. So it's not as if we acquire Shawnee and then Shawnee joins KW. And then all of a sudden we're up 100% because Shawnee's new in our world. That's not how it works within this data and metrics. So I just wanted to point that out. Lake Country up 7% in a down 2% market. Southwest up 14 and North Shore up 6. Cool. And you can see the numbers correlating to it as the number correlating to the offices, individual office locations and their size and scale within the MLS. As it relates to the LOR report, you can see here, closed units, lead metrics and lag metrics. How do we compare? I always, again, compare it to the marketplace. So for example, the one that I'm most paying attention to right now, listings taken, we're down 1.6%. But yet we're up 17% in volume when the market's down 12.5% on listings taken and down 3% on volume. AKA between TOSA and North Shore, this group is killing it with listings. Like, again, I'm looking at lead metrics. I don't care about what you've already done. I'm looking at what you're going to do because that's what's important for us in terms of helping you become productive. Now, Lake Country is a bit of a different story. A little bit softer on our listing metrics, but much stronger on our buyer side contracts. So what does that tell us? Working with Deej and the team, we're going to be focused on both buyers and sellers next month from a training calendar perspective. So stay tuned for more information there. Lastly, because I totally screwed this up last week, I wanted to make sure I pointed this out. We went through August awards. Again, our results are a reflection of our people's results. In August, we paid out $5.9 million in gross commission incomes earned. It was up 13% versus August of last year. Again, the market was down 14%. So people made 13% more income than they did last year. Year to date, we've paid out $42 million in gross commission incomes earned. It's up 11%. Now, you're going to be getting a text from me sometime today for those that are participating regarding profit share because it gets paid out tomorrow. I got the reports late last night. Some of you are making a shitload of money, specifically in the Lake Country marketplace. There's a ton of people making north of a couple $1,000s a month, right? Leanne Plooster, I saw you on the name on there, Karen Trimble, a handful of others. August, we're paying out almost $72,000, up 15% versus last year in August. Year to date, almost $600,000. Check your bank accounts tomorrow morning if you participate in profit share. Guys, that's my market of the moment. A lot coming at you. A ton of stuff. I'll make sure to post the grocery store script for those that want to hang around. I'm going to flip over to new listings and buyer needs. Lake Country, I'll let you jump over to the Lake Country meetup. Guys, thanks for showing up. Appreciate you. Love you. Give me 2 seconds.